Would you still want to sell your business if you knew most founders leave 30% of their money on the table? I've seen it happen dozens of times. Smart operators, great companies, but they sell the old way. In this video, I'm going to show you the new way to exit your business in 2026. The strategy that the smartest buyers are using and how you can use it to walk away wealthy instead of wounded. The truth is, the world of exits has changed. Buyers aren't looking for founders anymore. They're looking for operators. Private equity is eating Main Street. Interest rates have changed how deals get financed. And if you don't adapt your exit strategy, you'll get crushed on valuations. So let's talk about what's changed and how to play it right. You know, a few years ago, I watched a founder sell his business for $4 million. It was a service company. The business was solid, profits were steady, but the systems and the books were a mess. He got one offer, it looked good on paper, so he took it. 6 months later, the buyers renegotiated. He walked away with half of what he expected. That deal taught me something every business owner needs to know. You don't get paid for your effort, you get paid for systems. So here's the new way to exit in 2026. It's a 3-part framework I call prepare, position, and profit. So first, let's prepare. Build a buyer's business, not a founder's business. That means getting your exit readiness score above 80. It's systems, documentation, and clean books, obviously. If your business can't run without you for 90 days, your multiple drops by half. Number 2 is position. Tell the right story. Buyers don't buy numbers, they buy the narratives. Let me give you a real example. I worked with a business owner last year who was stuck at a 3.5, I think, valuation it was. His numbers were strong, but his story was weak. Everything was positioned around what he did, not what mattered. We built his positioning from the ground up, doing some secret stuff, like we wrote a book for him. And instead of a software company doing AI, we reframed it as an infrastructure company powering predictive decisions for enterprise. Same business, same numbers, different perception. Within 4 months, he was acquired by a major AI tech company for nearly double of the original valuation. Nothing changed operationally. We just made the buyer see what was already there. That's power. That's the power of positioning. It doesn't just change how others see your company, it changes what they're willing to pay for it. The story of scalability, growth, and team leadership sells your vision. Your P&Ls tells them what you did, and your pitch deck tells them what they can do. Number 3 is profit. Negotiate the win-win exit. Everybody wins. This is where most people blow it. They think the buyer has all the power, but in reality, the seller with options and documentation sets the tone. If your free cash flow covers debt service, you control all the leverage. In 2026, the founders who win are the ones who start planning 2 years early. They treat their business like an asset, not a job. They know exactly what their company is worth before a buyer even shows up. If you want to know what your business is actually worth, drop a comment and I'll go over it with you and we'll get your exit readiness score. You'll get a full breakdown of where buyers see risk and what to fix before you even think about selling. Because you don't need a broker. What you really need is strategy. This was supposed to be a $2 million deal. Everything looked perfect on paper. Clean books, loyal staff, stable contracts. But 48 hours before closing, the entire deal fell apart. I'm talking lawyers backing out, financing collapsing, the seller ghosting, all of it. Here's exactly what went wrong. and the 3 lessons I learned that will save you millions when you sell your company. Most founders only see the highlight reel, the moment the check clears. What they don't see are the 9 dead deals that teach you how the game is really played. This one changed how I structure every acquisition, every LOI, and every conversation. So let's rewind, let's talk about it. The business was a behavioral health company doing about $2.2 million in revenue with solid margins. The owner was tired, ready to exit, said all the right things. I flew out, met the team, toured the facility, everything checked out. But here's what I miss. The owner was emotionally done. He had mentally checked out 6 months before we even met. The financials were clean, but the culture was collapsing. When the lender started asking deeper questions, staff turnover came up, and that was it. Financing pulled and the deal died. That day, I realized numbers tell one story, people tell another. So here's the framework I use now. I call it the 3 Ps of due diligence, because profit doesn't mean potential, and potential doesn't mean peace of mind. So number 1 is people. Interview the team, not just the owner. If you hear stuff like, we're waiting to see what happens next, that's a red flag. You're not buying a company, you're inheriting a culture. Number 2 is process. Every system that's in the owner's head is a liability. If the business can't run 90 days without the founder, the deal's toxic, even if it's profitable. Number 3 is you want proof of sustainability. Ask yourself this: if I disappeared for a month, would revenue still come in? If the answer is no, you don't have a business, you have a dependency. That deal falling apart was the best thing that could have happened, because it forced me to stop chasing numbers and start chasing health, a healthy valuation. Not financial health, but organizational health. The next deal I did using this framework closed fast, financed easily, and actually grew post-acquisition. If you want to know how buyers will really see your company, join my newsletter, drop a comment, I'll put it somewhere in the description. It's the same framework I use before I write any check, because if your company is not ready for the buyer's test, it's not ready for the big exit. If a buyer looked at your business today, would they see an opportunity or a liability? Most founders have no idea. They think because the business is profitable, it's valuable. That's wrong. Totally incorrect. In this video, I'll show you how to audit your business the same way private equity does, and how to use your Exit Readiness Score to find the blind spots before they cost you millions. Here's the truth. Buyers don't buy your past, they buy your predictability. They want to know, if you disappeared for 90 days, would this business still print cash? That's what the Exit Readiness Score measures, how ready your business really is for acquisition. And in this video, I'll break down the 5 categories buyers use to decide what your business is worth before they even talk to you. I was reviewing a 6-figure deal for a service company that looked perfect on paper. Strong revenue, great team, solid margins. But when we scored it through the Exit Readiness framework, it came in at a 62 out of 100. Why? No documented systems, no key person insurance, no recurring contracts. On paper, the numbers worked, but in the buyer's eyes, it was a risk. That 62 cost the owner nearly $800,000 in valuation. Not because of bad performance, but because of bad preparation. So let's go over the Exit Ready score real quick. First is financials. Clean accrual-based books. 3 years of P&Ls. Consistent, consistent, consistent margins. If you're running your business off a checking account, buyers will run the other direction. Number 2 is operational systems. Documented SOPs for every key function: sales, fulfillment, finance, HR, everything. Your business should be able to run without you for at least 90 days. Number 3 is customers. Customer stability. No single customer over 20% revenue, and I'll tell you a story about how I lost a lot of money because of that. But you also want recurring contracts or predictable retention equals higher multiples. Number 4 is team leadership. If your people only work for you, that's a risk. Buyers pay premiums for strong second-tier management. Number 5 is scale. Is your business scalable, and what's that scalability story? Can this grow without breaking? If a buyer sees a path to 2x growth, they'll pay for it now instead of later. When we applied this to one of my clients, a logistics company, their score was 54, I believe around 54. 6 weeks later, after we documented processes, replaced 2 key dependencies, and clarified their pitch deck, the score jumped to 85, 86. Buyers went from offering 3.5 the multiple to 5 times the multiple. That's a 40% valuation bump just by being ready. Here's the thing, exit readiness isn't about selling, it's about being ready to sell. Because when you're ready to sell, you operate differently. You make cleaner decisions, you lead better, you grow faster. And ironically, that's what makes your business worth more, even if you never are gonna sell. If you want to know your exit readiness score, drop me a comment. My team will reach out, we'll get connected. You'll get a full report of your buyer risk profile, your current score, and what to fix next. Because buyers don't buy potential, they buy proof. And your readiness is your proof. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that good stuff, and make sure you guys follow me so that you can learn exactly what you need to do to exit at a high multiple.